everyone. So today, me and Sue want to talk about spiritual bypassing, quantum jumping. So I happen to, I guess, guided to talk about this subject because I was listening to Sheila Marie's class, and then class one was Archangel Ariel, and then she was talking about do not try to avoid, and then she didn't use the word don't do spiritual bypassing. And then a few days before, I was doing this meditation, quantum jumping. I wasn't trying to do quantum jumping for the purpose of avoiding my present time, but I thought it was interesting. And, so it's obviously they're saying, don't do that. And it sounded like the message was addressed to me, even though it was a class. So what do you think about this?
What is quantum jumping? Fill us in.
Quantum jumping is the basically you're gonna jump from one timeline to another timeline, either through the meditation. A lot of times people do through meditations from one timeline to another timeline intentionally. So you will experience like a parallel life. So when you jump into like let's say I want to see this parallel life of me being really rich or something. So the reason for people to do parallel life and they do quantum jumping is to bring that essence of energy, to bring that element of life into you so you become one. I think that's my understanding of it.
Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure we're on the same page, and then also for your audience to get an idea of what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting during sessions, the quantum healing sessions that I've done, I've had several folks go into the future self. And it was always my perception that when that happened, it was because their questioning led them to that place to have a looky-loo, like guidelines, like, well, in one case, in one case, the lady saw some stuff and it was more of like a warning why her guide showed her some future elements in her life. But my impression was that there's always a reason why they do that. I didn't do it. I didn't say, okay, let's, yes, there have been times where I've said, let's progress forward in this life, never to their ending of their life. That was a big no-no, according to Dolores Cannon, which I can see why that would be a problem. Nobody wants to know when they're going to die or how, because I mean, you just live your life differently. But I have actually progressed a couple people forward just for the fact of they want to know if they're on the right track for what their soul intended, and or possibly what next steps are. But so again, it's not a common practice for me. I don't set out to induce my clients to go forward in this life unless there's a really good reason. And I think that the reason when the guides do it, bring them to this future point in their lives, is because there's something very specific to show them. It's not because we just have this curiosity and so they're indulging us and they say, well, okay, we're going to let them know how this works out. Why? And I contend that the reason why we're not supposed to know how everything turns out is it's like watching the end of a movie before you've had a chance to watch the beginning, middle, and you're not even introduced to the characters yet, and you're watching the end, so you don't even know what's going on. It's like, okay, I know how it's going to turn out, but damn, I didn't have any fun doing it. And I think our souls plan these lives, our lives, my soul plan, your soul plan, everybody's soul plan, because there's certain things we want to get out of it. There's meat and potatoes in there. And there's gravy and there's dessert and there's sometimes the food is good, sometimes the food's not good. So you change restaurants. I'm speaking metaphorically here, but I think you guys get what I'm saying, which is, you know, our lives are full of richness and interest and exploration and trying things this way, then we try it that way, then maybe we pivot and we just do it completely differently, you know, some other day. But in the midst of each day, there is always something. There's always something interesting or joyful, or even in the worst of times, we can hang on to each other and provide comfort to each other. So that's a blessing. And I just think trying to avoid the difficult parts is like saying to your soul, I don't trust you. I don't trust that you have our best interest in mind, that what you set out for me to experience, it's gonna be terrible. It's not gonna work out in any way, shape, or form. And we can miss our strengths when we try to avoid parts, aspects, or elements of our life. So I could call it spiritual bypassing by trying to jump timelines for that reason. That's why I would call it spiritual bypassing.
Yeah.
And we've talked about spiritual bypassing in the past, and what we were talking about it was in reference to emotions, trying to use our spirituality and what we know in our minds to bypass feeling our emotions. And we called that spiritual bypassing. So I just kind of want to be clear on what we're talking about. You're talking about actually
Technique.
avoiding events or fast forwarding past whole parts of our lives, right?
Or try to manifest like completely different timeline through going through the quantum jumping, right? It seems like a quantum leap or quantum jumping is popular.
Hmm.
So I feel like it's understandable, you know, because what's happening right now, people might want to escape or something. But what I was told by my guide was when you really feel through what you're really going through, good or bad, it goes faster than avoiding it. Or even try to bring some element of the parallel timeline to you right now and then try to control what's happening right now. Because what they're saying is, like, for example, when you are going through the huge transformation and then you just transform to become a butterfly from a cocoon, and then you just started to feel like how this new life is like. You didn't really go through whole new change. You started to just having a few steps. Then you're gonna do parallel jumping and then quantum jumping, and then okay, now it's like uh 5 years ahead feeling, and then I guess you're not really relishing what is going on right now, and then feeling through from every fiber of your body. So I'm thinking that's what Archangel Ariel wanted to warn me. Even though I wasn't really doing it to avoiding it, I was just wanted to try this because this famous YouTuber, you know, very good psychic person was recommending. So I watch her and she's very entertaining. And then I'm thinking, oh, when she is doing it, having great time, I want to do it too. So that was the only reason of it, you know.
Yeah.
And then I could also see the point of the archangel. So I only tried the 2 days instead of 21 days. So I might do it in the future, but not now.
I was wondering, have you ever had this happen where you've gone to a psychic or a tarot reading or somebody like that, or done a swap session with somebody,
Mhm.
and you can tell they know something about your question, but you could see it all over their face, and I can feel it when they're holding something back. I can feel that vibration, and they won't tell you something, or they'll try and give you, like, they'll try and skirt the issue, but they're not going to give you an answer, even though they know what the answer is. Why is that? And I talked to a friend of mine who is a really amazing reader, and she's so accurate. She's really great. And I asked her one time, I said, I know there's something you're not telling me. And she said, well, you don't need to know that right now. And I'm not telling you for a reason. I mean, we're very blunt with each other. So, I mean, and that's great because that's how I roll too. I don't like to, skirt issues, but I mean, she was almost choking on it a little bit when we were talking, trying to avoid it. And I said, I know you're avoiding something. What, why don't you just tell me what it is? She's like, not for you to know. And I said, okay, thank you. Thanks for telling me that. I said, in future, just say, okay, I heard your question. It's not for you to know. And I'll just accept that. And that's fine. We'll move on to what's next. And I think that's because, again, we have a soul plan and things need to unfold in its proper order. We call it divine planning, divine timing, that sort of thing. What's divine about it? Well, we created it with the creator's blessing. That's why we have the ability to create these lives and explore as many times as we want and come back and do it again in the same body, just do it differently, whatever. We have all this latitude and free will. Why are we trying to jump forward in the story? I mean, I just went, because I told you, I just went through something really uncomfortable yesterday. And, my humanity just really, my hackles were up, my stomach was upset. I was just in a shitty mood, kind of headachy. And then actually you talked about something earlier today that I used as a technique yesterday to get myself out of that. To raise my vibration, which was, changing the narrative. Okay. Instead of going, well, this is what's wrong with the situation, I flipped it to, okay, but this is what's right about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it raised my vibration. So I don't think it's spiritual bypassing to raise your vibration. And if you can flip a story and start seeing, okay, there's got to be something in this, what's happening that's beneficial. Maybe I can't even see it right now, but I can at least wrap my mind around the fact that this is happening for a reason and something good is going to come out of it. We don't know what that is right now. That's okay. But maybe you can even flip the story and the narrative to seeing what is the benefit of it. It's like seeing the silver lining in the cloud.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't even do it right then and there if you just expand your mind a little bit and go, okay, so I'm looking at all these negatives. Okay, what could possibly be positive about this? What could I learn from it? What can I find out about myself or this other person that I'm concerned about? What's happening here? How is it affecting our family? And I think that's why we don't get the answers ahead of time. It's cheating on the test. Or it's watching the end of the movie before you've even been introduced to the characters. Let it play out.
Yeah, but the thing is, the future timeline would not be the same because depends on how you're vibrating, and then try to, let's say, do future progression session or something. You're only going to see your future timeline according to how you're vibrating.
That's
So
true.
even we see it doesn't mean we're going to see everything, but
That's a great point.
yeah, because I think my guide kind of suggested to me to do that session to people. I thought that was a good idea.
What session?
Future progression.
So you can see how it's going to work out if you stay at your current vibration.
It's more like finding out their soul purpose or plan or
Oh, okay.
what kind of thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up one day, I thought, I think that wasn't my idea. I think that was my guide or my higher self. Just
Mm-hmm.
suddenly came to me. So I'm probably gonna add that service on my Etsy. Yeah, they said do that. So I'm gonna do that.
It actually happened to me. And I think I asked Dolores Cannon to come in during the session because this was a particularly interesting set of questions this lady had about what she was doing. She was studying, or no, she was getting ready to do her dissertation for her program of study. And she had her mother who was a little bit elderly, not elderly, but she had some health issues. And she was talking about moving across country. So, you know, in my mind, I'll have conversations with Dolores when I feel stuck during a session. I'll
Mhm.
be like, okay, Dolores, what's next? And, you know, she's always right there to help. I mean, anybody can talk to Dolores. It's not like I have a corner on the market because I took QHHT training.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, do you have to take like
No,
QHHT to talk to her?
no, we ask for help from who we, you know, we feel has the wisdom that we're looking for. And so, you know, a lot of times, I mean, you tend to talk more to Archangel Michael, and I tend to talk more to Archangel Raphael because I don't know, I just like our energy frequencies are real tight. And I almost think he might be my angel for this life. So I don't know that for a fact, but he's my go-to. And then Archangel Metatron because of the, you know, ascension stuff. Anyway, I asked the Lord, I was like, okay, help me out here. And she was like, well, you need to show her a little bit of, you know, you need to show her that's going to work out. So we did progress into her life, and she saw the move as being very successful, no problems with the dissertation, you know, things like that. It's really stressful to move. I know I've just done it across country. And then if you add on top of
Yeah,
that, you're moving your whole business. She had an established practice with clients. Um, and then you're moving your mother and selling several properties and all this. It's a lot. It's stressful, and sometimes it's hard to hear our own internal voices. So you know, that was what was really good for her in the session, is she got the confirmation she needed that she was in fact guided to this move, that it was going to work out, and it just helped give her that little bit of boost that she needed to
mhm.
push forward. That's very different than trying to change your whole reality
Yeah,
by
that's different.
jumping a timeline and quantum jumping. And I can't say anything against quantum jumping because I haven't experienced it. So I don't
Yeah,
know much
maybe
about it.
maybe we'll try after we finish our present journey.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Okay.
I'm
I'll give it a
talking
shot.
about I'm talking about not end of our life. I'm saying what we are experiencing right now, it will end soon. So after that, we can do that.
Okay. I'll
I mean,
try anything once as long as it's legal.
I was like, I forgot the name of the guy who invented quantum jumping. So I was like including his technique on my session. So I know technically how to do that, but that doesn't mean like I myself experienced, you know, within me, because when you're offering the session, which is different from you're doing it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm still here, so apparently you didn't go anywhere too far. My hair isn't down here to my shoulders, so
You know how speaking of Dolores, Sloan was saying like she met her like
oh,
when she was on TV show. She was with Sylvia Brown and then
oh, wow.
Dolores, but she doesn't know too much about quantum healing. She knows, according to her, like Dolores is more metaphysician to her than psychic.
Mm,
So she was talking about that. But I thought that was interesting. They know each other.
isn't that great?
Yeah, they
It's
are on
kind of like
TV
the
together.
old guard, you know, the originals that were pioneering and putting out the information way before it was acceptable
Oh
um,
yeah.
in society. So I always hold such high regard for those brave souls.
Yeah, she was talking about like how all these TV shows try to make fun of TV psychic, but some of them are real. They really know how to read people or
Sure.
connect with the people or something like that.
Well, I mean, you can consider Janine. I never can get her last name. It's French, but Tarot by Janine. I mean,
Morijo,
what is it?
Morijo.
Morijo. Okay.
French.
When she says it so quickly that I just can't grab it. But thank you for that. It's kind of like Tarot by Janine. I mean, she does a lot of on the fly. They'll take questions from the tip jar sort of thing, and when she works with Jean-Claude, and so she's kind of like the modern day TV psychic, and I'll tell you, I think she's pretty accurate about a lot of things. But anyway, the fact of the matter is everybody we're talking to has the power to do it and the
Yeah,
ability to do it. It's whether you believe it or not, and then you practice it and you work with it. I think I got blown wide open with my abilities because of my touching those energies in quantum healing.
mm,
So when I started practicing, but I had sessions before I gave sessions, and of course it was all with volunteers that were interested in exploring it with me. So that was a lot of fun. But you can't be working with those energies for too long before it's busting open something in yourself.
oh
Um,
yeah,
so, there's plenty of self-hypnosis techniques and things like, of course, there's meditation, which leads into, all we're talking about is degrees of altered brain wave activity between
mhm,
meditation and hypnosis. Um, or, come to somebody like Erica or me who know how to guide you through it, and, we'll help you do that. But you all have the power.
yeah,
It's in you, and you were born with it. You're an infinite being, so you've always had that ability. You just forgot. And so I imagine if you get into this quantum jumping, and I've already said I don't know what it is, I haven't tried it, but be careful, because you don't want to jump yourself out of what the good things that are coming. First of all, I mean, I think some things are really going to change in our
that is
reality.
true. That is true because once you change something like a butterfly effect, like you change a little bit of something, everything will change, right?
Yeah. And I don't know about you, Erica, but I'm really excited to see the resolution of everything that we've been watching for the last 2 years. I mean, it's been going on a lot longer than that behind the scenes, as far
Oh
as,
yeah,
taking down the dark hats, and,
like
what's been going on.
Putin was calling the president Trump because he didn't want to talk to the fake president. That makes
Oh,
sense.
well, I call him President Trump. I I was researching all through that Dominion debacle, and the CIA shootout in Germany and all of that. I kind of got informed about what happened there, and Dominion is definitely responsible for a lot of uh, fraud in election, not just in America, but in other countries too. And so anyway, in my opinion, he's still my president, President Trump. And I know that he hasn't gone anywhere. I mean, he has access to the Pentagon, whereas the other one doesn't. What does that tell you? If you
Yeah,
don't have nuclear codes, you don't have shit.
I'm pretty excited. I was invited to be on Truth Social today, so
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Tell me about that.
it's very high vibe. I think I had a choice of choosing like I think I had a choice of 20 people or something, and then including president. So I picked president, and then I didn't really want to pick people I don't know. So I picked like cute animal is doing things and nature. Basically, that was my choice.
I like it. I would choose that
So
too.
I'm gonna go from there. And I kind of wanted to choose science, so I think I picked it. So they're showing some kind of like a massive energetic change in the sky, not like Earth sky, but universe or something. Like some kind of particle is like crashing and sparkling, and I thought that was really cool.
That kind of goes in, if you're talking about scientific evidence, People in our community have been saying for quite a while about the waves of light coming in from the
Oh,
central
yeah.
sun through via our sun. And we've felt it. I have, you have, I know we talked about it, and a lot of my colleagues have definitely felt it. And so now there's like some scientific discussion about the change in particles and things like that. Because from what I've heard, the sun is going to be complete. Yeah, I mean, it has been for a little while, but very different
Oh, the
from the
sign is
sun.
different. It's like white now. It's not yellow anymore.
It is. And not only that, I feel differently when I'm in it as I did when I was a kid. I never feel like I'm getting a sunburn. I don't spend extensive amounts of time in it. However, I have um, in the last 2 years, and it really is different. I don't have a scientific explanation for it, but it does make sense to me that light codes are being activated through this new energy. It definitely makes sense to me.
I know galactics are like using sun to transport the great central sun's light code or their own light code through the sunlight and the
Yeah,
water too, I think.
I think even in the air,
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
our atmosphere is changing, and
Yeah, definitely. So like Truth Social, basically it's like kind of like different vibe from Facebook. I'm glad I'm out. I mean, it's not draining me when I'm looking at Truth Social. And then I think I'll enjoy it. I mean, I probably gonna do it for my business purpose and then plus talk about whatever I feel like talking about spiritually, my
mhm,
truth there,
mhm.
you know. So maybe
Hey, it's in the name. You
half
can say the
social.
truth, and you don't have to worry about being censored.
Well,
I'm on.
I already talked about, I'm pretty straight talker and then I don't believe in politically correct bullshit like mind control thing. I mean, that's how
Well,
I
what I'm saying
talk
is your
about.
posts are not going to be removed because you're saying whatever it is you want to say.
Yeah, I
And
know.
that means sign me up because I'm done with this
But
censorship crap.
I think I signed up the convoy one too. But the thing is, like, the whole point of all this truth social, the posts I'm seeing, it's very high vibe. I don't see any like um I don't know, different side of
Whiners, complainers, oh, poor me,
not that
haters.
not that it's just even like truth side, it's like we're gonna fight and defeat the other side or that kind of vibration is not there.
Good.
It's like it's very metal. I like it.
Well, you have to let me know when it's open to the public. I know you had a special invitation, but I'll definitely make the switch because, yeah, the only reason I look at Facebook at all is just to find out what's going on with my family. Every once in a while, I signed up for the animal sites and things like that on Facebook, and I get those posts daily. I like squirrels and opossums, and I got this wildlife thing that I'm hooked up to in Florida. So it helps us identify the new birds and things that we see here. So that's really cool. But as far as the rest of it goes, it's like scroll, scroll, scroll. I just don't even want to read it.
It's like
And
I never knew how much energy it was draining me. I never
it
go there
does.
more than 10 minutes because it's draining me. Even
Hmm.
that it was too much.
Yeah. And usually if I do tap in, it's only like every few days or so. Like, oh, okay, I wonder what's going on with so and so or so and so, so I'm like checking in. But guess what? We have phones and I have their numbers. So
Yeah,
I
you
can
can
call
talk.
them.
We don't need a Facebook really.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really looking forward to this new platform. So,
Yeah,
like I
me
said, you'll
too.
have to let us know when it's open to the public because I'll
Yeah, I will.
definitely.
I will. I mean, so far it's very high vibe. It's fun. I love looking at the cute animals. Like one of them, I did show you the screenshot. Um,
Yeah,
two cats
the
are looking
cats.
like snowflakes, and
It's so
they are very
cute.
curious about that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so cute.
Well, it's funny you say snowflakes because my cat lately, he's been totally fascinated by the dripping of the sink. It used to be he'd hang out by the sink because he wanted to drink right from the tap. He's a little spoiled, that one. But so I'll turn the water on for him and he just looks at it and I'm like, he's not drinking. What's going on? He wants me to turn it off so he can chase the drips coming down. And,
Oh,
I think that's an interesting point now that we're talking about it. It's a story, but um, think of how simple that is. I'm getting so much joy out of watching my cat chase water droplets. And cat, dog, whatever you're into, or your kid does something that's really cute, or whatever. Somebody's funny at work and he or she's always coming in with some funny thing they're saying. Take the time to enjoy that stuff, people, because that's really the joy in life.
yeah,
If you think it's the big events, so you're trying to bypass timelines and go to the big event where everything's just utopia, and think of all the little things you're going to miss and skip over. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, you can enjoy those things too in this new reality, but you said earlier about butterflies coming out of the chrysalis. We have some right outside of our house and we've watched them. And my husband actually held one that just came out of the chrysalis. But what did it do? It had its wings out and it was drying its wings because they were wet. It was new and it couldn't fly until those wings were dry. So you jump from this reality into some whole other reality. It's like, are you even going to know how to navigate it? Are you ready for it? Is there a reason why you're not there yet? I just can't be in a hurry anymore. It's how I'm living my life. And I think it's working out pretty good. That's the best advice I can give anybody, is just enjoy the little things, because the
yeah,
little things are the point. It's not these great big momentous things. Yes, enjoy those too, right? When the big things happen, get excited, throw a party, whatever, buy a car, um, whatever it is but enjoy the little moments too. I think that's
yeah,
what makes life sweet.
definitely. And then, your talk kind of reminds me of a Catholic saint, Little Flower Teresia. You know, I really loved her when I was looking at reading the Book of Saint. She always cherished small thing in life. That's how she became saint. Get rid of that sacrifice story of saints, because I think that's a brainwashing part.
Yeah.
But when you cherish small thing and then try to find like a blessing and the holiness from, I sound like a priest. Blessing and the holiness from like small thing in life, it's very easy to find your own happiness from there and joy. And it doesn't have to be something big. Of course, something big gonna happen, it will happen. But we have to go through life every day. And then when we are cherishing something small, like a little flower Teresia did, we can do that too. And then she's showing that as an example.
It's funny. I just love this new pair of sneakers I got from Walmart. They're the cutest little things. And they're comfortable and they're cute and just exactly the style I was looking for. Could I afford to go out and buy more expensive shoes? Sure. Did I need to? No. I found, and I had been through a number of stores looking for this style of shoe that I wanted. And I found them at Walmart and they were like $11.99. And I just love these freaking shoes.
Did you get a cup of extra?
No, I I got kind of a shoe thing where I have a lot of shoes. And so I decided I'm going to pare it back and not buy excessively. In my past self, I would have bought them in gray and in white, but I bought the black ones.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but it's and that's funny because they may be totally sold out. By the time I wear these shoes out, they may be totally sold out and not even offer the style anymore. And then I'll say to myself, oh, what's next?
Oh yeah, that might be a good attitude. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, so
Just
that's
enjoy
what.
it now.
Yeah, enjoy it now because stay present. Like you know, when you stay present, it's like your path to ascension is much faster.
I think so
100%.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we wanted to talk about today. And then Sue and I are going to bring more interesting subject next week. And then we see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Please share, like, subscribe. And then we see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.